Perfect.
hear you. And you can go ahead and get started at 7:30.
Okay, terrific. Let me grab the screen here. Sorry, one moment. Okay, is my screen showing?
Sure is.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect, awesome. Alrighty, well, thank you everybody for attending our presentation and demo tonight. Our group decided on building the delivery web application for a pizza restaurant. The name of the restaurant we chose is Cross Country Pizzeria, which, side note, I think is an awesome name. And if you guys happen to know anybody opening up a pizzeria and need help with a name, you're welcome. But I will begin the presentation by explaining our product backlog and Sprint 1 planning and retrospective. Brian then will take over and share our Sprint 2 planning and retrospective. And then for the demo, Andrew will then share the front end of the website, and Nicholas will demo the back end and database functionality. So to kick off, let's take a look at our product backlog here. Okay, so this backlog was originally created during the Group 1 project by a different group of students with the exception of Andrew and myself. At the time, the backlog included a variety of ideas that we thought were really necessary at that time, which considered information on improving the customer experience, which were things like an order tracking system, feedback options after orders, and secure login features for users. However, once we began our sprint planning for this class, we quickly realized that not all of these features were feasible to implement within our current scope, time, and resource limits. For example, items like order tracking, as you see in Story ID AF3, customer feedback in AF5, and on the next slide, on AF8, you'll see secure login features on there, which all of these features require back-end systems and data flows that we didn't have access to, such as actual order processing and user account management. With that, we decided to keep these features as part of the backlog for potential future enhancements. But for our 2 sprints, we focused on the items we knew for sure were achievable within our time frame, such as the app menu, order customization, and secure transactions. But this process of reassessing the backlog and prioritizing what's possible was a valuable learning experience in understanding how to adjust expectations, make realistic commitments, and stay agile as a development team. Excuse me. And there is part 2 of our product backlog there. So now I will jump into our sprint planning and retrospective for sprint 1 here. So for sprint 1, our main focus, kind of just reflecting off the product backlog, was focused on establishing the foundational features of our web application. Some of the key tasks we planned included designing the wireframe for the menu layout, implementing the front end for browsing, connecting the back end API to fetch menu items, and testing responsiveness across different devices. We also began on the work order customization UI and the supporting database development for those features. Overall, Sprint 1 was very productive, and we were able to successfully deliver a functional platform that included core features like the menu navigation and order customization. And that gave us a solid starting point heading into Sprint 2. All right, so for the retrospective for Sprint 2, we discussed several key takeaways from Sprint 1. So first, under the things that went well, we highlighted how strong communication and time management played a big role in keeping the project on track. The team stayed connected throughout the entire sprint process using Discord as a medium, which allowed for us to continually troubleshoot issues together and avoid confusion about who was working on what, even when no meeting was planned. So this helped us meet our initial goals and maintain steady progress. And what could have gone better? We acknowledge some challenges with workload distribution. At times, outside commitments and personal schedules, 'cause we're all adults and have jobs and everything like that, sometimes cause delays for certain tasks. So we also realized that the platform we were using had some limitations as far as like payment processing, which made certain interactive features harder to implement than what we had originally planned. One of the biggest points from what surprised us was how valuable early user feedback became. Getting external input sooner than expected helped us identify ways to improve usability, design, and functionality right away. We were also surprised by how quickly the product began to feel stable once we tackled those core features collaboratively. Can never say that word, collaboratively. Um, yes, and finally, under lessons learned, we recognize the importance of pacing and breaking the project into smaller, manageable chunks instead of front loading all the work into the first 2 weeks. We also learned how helpful it was to work as a team instead of in isolation, since that approach made it easier to catch bugs early and keep the project moving. Another important takeaway was how much personal availability affects team performance. So we agreed that better upfront planning around schedules would help prevent bottlenecks in future sprints. And so that is it for sprint one and the planning and retrospective for that. I'm going to now pass it on to Brian, who will talk about sprint two's planning and its retrospective. Go ahead, Brian.
Thank you so much. So for Sprint 2, our goal was to improve on what we built in the first sprint by focusing on refinement, performance, and adding more back-end functionality. Some of the key tasks we planned included collecting user feedback on the menu, optimizing the customization features, completing bug fixes, and building out secure payment processing. We also worked on back-end development for order tracking, even though full order processing wasn't possible in this environment. The sprint also included time set aside for preparation for our presentation and holding Scrum meetings to keep our progress organized. Next slide. Regarding the retrospective, we felt like this sprint was a big improvement from the first one, even as well as that one did go. The website became much smoother. It looked a lot more polished overall. One of the biggest wins was getting the database functionality in place, which helped everything work more reliably and allowed us to focus on testing and refinement. For what could have gone better, we realized that spending more time upfront on planning and testing would have helped reduce some of the issues we ran into. We also noticed that our team communication did slow down a bit compared to Sprint One, which made coordination a little bit harder at times. And again, just kind of fitting our different schedules together was continued to be a little bit of a struggle, but we did power through that. One of the biggest things that surprised us was how much the built-in tools and plugins help speed up development. We originally thought we'd need to custom build out a lot more features, but these tools allowed us to stay on track and focus on polishing the product. We're also surprised by how well the final design came together visually despite the tight schedule. As far as the biggest lesson learned for us is really just the importance of doing things right the first time, especially when it came to the database setup and choosing the right tools. Instead of rushing, we took the time to build a solid foundation, which helped avoid bigger problems later. We learned that just because we finished ahead of schedule on some tasks, it was still worth using that extra time to improve the quality of the product as much as possible. So all in all, Sprint 2 was really a great success. I think it went really well for all of us. And I will go ahead and hand things over to Nick so he can talk through our backend and database.
All right. So my name's Nick, and I was responsible for the handling of the backend and database for our project. Currently, I'm going to just briefly talk about our database and our backend before I share my screen and show you our database. We chose to use Mongo DB because it's a NoSQL database, which means it stores data in a flexible document-based format. So instead of traditional rows and tables like SQL databases, MongoDB stores data in JSON-like documents, which makes it really adaptable, perfect for an online ordering system where data can vary from order to order. We also liked security features that it had. It supported authentication, role-based access control, data encryption, auditing, data masking, network and firewall protection. But if we were ever going to scale up, we can use MongoDB Atlas, which is a fully managed cloud service with built-in backups, monitoring, and even more advanced security features. And then for the back end, we use Node.js to handle all the server-side logic and to connect Node.js to Mongo. We use a library called Mongoose, which is a tool that helps us define the structures of our data so we can create models for things like customers, orders, and pizzas. So now I'm going to share my screen and show the database. Everybody see my screen? All right. So first we're going to go to the ingredients. We kept this all simple and sweet and to the point. Shows all the ingredients that we have and how many we bought, where we bought them, online or locally. Then our menu items, which shows on the front end, it also shows on the back end. We have our slice, we have our meat lovers and margarita with all the ingredients that go into each. The slice is obviously going to have both of these meat lovers and margarita in one because we have two different slices to choose from. The analytics side, customers decide to make an account to make their ordering process easier over time. They end up with this: their name, address, phone number, and email. Once they decide to place an order and it goes into the shopping cart to track our sales, we have everything listed here. Customization, which we don't have yet, but if we did, this could be changed to extra pepperoni or extra cheese. And we have the menu item that they chose, which is meat lovers, order online, obviously, the price, the quantity, and sales date. Once they get through that and they decide to check out and processes, they are left with an order number, and this is our virtual receipt to show that the customer had paid for their order. And it shows the payment method via credit card and status paid. If we did decide to have a cash transaction, this would say cash, and it would be unpaid until the person shows up and pays for their pizza, and then it will change to paid. So now I'm going to transition over to Andrew, who has the front end of our project.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Awesome. I'm just getting it all set up over here. And can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew. I was in charge of the front end development. I just wanted to go over some analytics over here. We have our views and whatnot. We decided to use WordPress and WooCommerce to assist us in our development. I have our products layout over here. As mentioned before, we have the Meat Lovers Pizza Pie and Slice as well as the Margarita Pizza Pie and Slice. You can easily add and remove products through this platform. Just a little demonstration. Have the name, description, all that fun stuff. And let's go on to the main part of the show. We have the website over here on our front. Right on the front page, you have our description, basically describing our project, why we decided to go with the pizzeria. You have our mission statement as well. Right on the top, you'll notice a series of buttons. The first one being the refund policy. As this is a project and not a full functioning website, we found it probably a good idea to mention please do not put payment information into our product or into our project. It may be difficult to get back. After that, you see the menu, the cart, and the avatar. Going towards the menu, we have all of our options here. I was setting up a bit of a demonstration, so you see there are 7 margarita pizza slices in the cart already. Let's add a pie. Click on it as well. You have your description. You can also add more. There's also instant payment option. So if we view the cart here, you can see the amount of them you have. You have your pizza pie as well. You can click view my cart. That'll show you more options to add coupons. You can change your delivery and whatnot. I have it set to my home address. More or less, you could also change it to any area. It will calculate taxes for you as well. You have your simple one-click payments or your proceed to checkout. Under the checkout option, you also have more express checkout details up here. You have your little description, your name of your item, the quantity of them. You can enter your email address, shipping address, as well as billing. And you have the option of adding a card as well and your phone number. The biggest thing I'd like to highlight is the ability to create accounts and whatnot. By clicking the avatar icon up here, you have your account. That's the admin account for us. Orders, downloads, addresses, payment methods, account details, adding names, making passwords. You can log out. If you were to log out, you could easily have your information over here. You could also hit lost your password. Let's say it was our group right over here. There we go. And that'll send a link right over to the email. Overall, with the design approach, we decided to go for a more minimalist black and white look, as it made everything look a little more professional, but we decided to add color to the pictures just to add a bit more flavor. And we tried to make everything as simple as possible for users to interact with everything. Thank you very much for attending our demo.
Great job. Thank you so much. Thank you for paying attention to all the details. Thank you. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
If no one has any question, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.
All right, you guys take care.
Great night.
You too.